We are so close to Major League Baseball opening day that I can practically hear the sounds of a winning game at Kauffman Stadium in my ears. No football today. We are going to do some baseball. We might try and do the solo shot on Underdog Fantasy. I'm going to be joined by Mr. Matthew Darksheep from Stacking Dingers. Let's get after it. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer. All right. Well, Matthew, I hope that everyone watching live right now has not done their solo shot, because we're gonna go ahead and try and fill this because you had time to sit down and co-pilot with me. So we are gonna do the $75 single entry Major League Baseball contest on Underdog. 10K to first. All right. What's the 4 out of 12 advance, 4 out of 12, 3 out of 12, 3 out of 10, 18 person final. I love a good 18 person final.
Hey,
how you doing, man?
I'm under the gun, man. Works heavy. It's middle of draft season, trying to fit in NFBC drafts, trying to fit in volume here and on DraftKings, even trying to get some on drafters, and like I just have no time. So
how many main events are you gonna do in the NFBC?
So this is my first year. My buddy has convinced me we are splitting our first main event. So looking to do that on Sunday. So I have been slowly dipping my toes there, and I figure with the the nice season coming off of football with the Dog Bowl third place, like my bankroll is never going to be in a better spot to take that dive in.
Yes. Yeah. That's when you got to take your shots. All right. We are waiting for 6. Easy. Please get in, Mr. J Train. Someone please get in. All right. So we did, what was that, about 6 weeks ago? It was still cold outside when you hopped on with me to teach me a little bit about these streets. What's been the biggest either player take or strategy thing that you've changed in like the last month of drafting?
I've backed off. Biggest player take is backing off Brandon Woodruff. I was taking him and Robbie Ray. Some of these guys at the end, I was at like 50% on some of these guys, and just through natural diversification, those have come down. But I'm also, I think I was a little too gung ho on just how quickly Woodruff would be back. He's still going really late, so I still grab him a little bit, but I'm not as aggressive on him. And right now, it's just like I think I've gone in the direction of a little more early pitching than I have earlier. I think when I started the season, I was doing the usual wait forever and start pitching later because the names look so good there. But then, now I've just started putting like grab Garrett Crochet at the start, or I'm surprised by how much Paul Skeens I have. It's always when he falls to like 30 or so. Like if you're in a certain room, you can get him to drop, and I'll grab him there. It's like being in a room full of 0 RB virgins. I've noticed with the pitcher and the outfielder thing. Like if I'm in a draft and it's all badge bros, like it's all literally guys who are super locked in, then the pitchers will fall and infielders will fall because everyone's just like, all right, man, I got to take Steven Kwan because if I'm behind an outfield, I'm not possibly gonna win. Interesting to me, you're a little lighter on Robbie Ray because I don't. What's the reason to be backing off of this dude? He's probably one of my favorite clicks. I think he's gone up, and I just have not seen his name where I am used to seeing his name. So I think maybe I'm taking other players. I did think of another one. I've gone full bore on Spencer Strider. Nothing but good news this spring. I think he's ready to go. They're just slow playing him. And I think that rotation needs him to be a top stud. And he's coming off his second arm surgery, right? This time it was a brace. It wasn't the full TJ, which is scary. We don't have a lot of great references for the second. But this dude is just like nuts, like in terms of where he is, like in tune with his body, in tune with just like pitching. Like he's just so smart and so athletic. That's like, I think if anybody is going to be bouncing back from it, it's going to be him.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, if you knew let's say he misses, let's actually say he misses 4 starts, so he does 28 instead of 32, but like stays healthy. Other than that, I mean, he can still be the number 1 guy, right?
Yeah, and you're building 7 pitchers with him every time.
I think I'm thinking 7 pitchers anyway. Is that playing scared? Yeah.
I think that's playing smart. It's playing with the field, but I think there's plenty of other knobs. Like just cranking up your stacking just puts you against the field already if you're building the same structure.
You know, the other thing I'm doing is I was taking no Ronald Acuna Jr. to begin with, and I'm not gonna like max these lobbies. I'll probably do 75 dingers. I did the frozen rope. I'm gonna do this right now. Like I'm not gonna like mega max these, and I'm not doing an NFBC team this year. I've done them in the past. The waivers just like, because basically it's like by the time you know if your team's good or not, you know, in like June and July and stuff, and you really need to be, and you're kind of out of money by then right now, you know.
I don't have that problem. I am very reticent to spend on waivers, especially on young hotness, so I don't really fall for that trap.
Valid. But point being, by the time that's happening, football for me is, I'm like, I got to be locked in. I'm streaming every day. I'm doing a billion. So it's like, what am I going to take an hour on Sunday to go and do waivers for this team and argue about it with my co-managers? I'm like, nah, I'm not really trying to do that. So this for me is the perfect balance. Guys, if you guys are too coward to draft against me, someone who's not even good at best ball fantasy football, this is as dead. This is as dead money as a solo shot lobby is going to get. Let's we are all trying to do this. And let me tell you, the issue with saving these is you're going to forget. You're going to have to go to dinner with your wife. You're going to have to run an errand that you didn't anticipate. The season's going to have started in 2 days, and you're going to have forgot about it, and you're not going to have done your solo shot. And then 6 months from now, you're going to see me and Matt in the final, and you're going to be like, God, that could have been me, but I forgot to enter because I had to go renew my license plate. You know?
What happened to me last year with it is like, I'm like waiting, I'm going to wait. I'm going to get in. It's a random lobby. I'm not going to get in with anybody else. And then I join it, and like, I knew 3 of the people at least. Like Rotorun John was in there, and I don't remember who else. But like the player pool isn't big enough for people that are playing this contest to really try and game it. And I think if you want to wait, it's because of news and waiting on injuries. But I like my off season is actually even like a week shorter because half a week shorter because I'm going out of the country. So at this point, I'm just trying to get drafts in as where I can right now. Anytime I have a free moment.
Reed, I will promise this. I will take no time when I'm on the clock. That's all I'll say. I'll have my picks ready I'm not going to promise you anything, but I promise you I will draft quickly. I think technically there are 2 good Marlins players, Alcantara and Edwards, but Alcantara is like 60% to be traded probably.
Yeah. And I don't think Edwards is right for this format.
No, he's not. All right, there we go. Filled. I'm picking second. That is so annoying. I just never get Ohtani. I never get him. Just never.
Well,
it's like I feel like it just never happens for me.
I got 12, so I'm on the other side of the spectrum here.
Jesus Sanchez is okay for this format. I don't know.
Yeah.
He can. Is he live to get traded? I have no idea how many years of team control he has left.
I don't know either. He's got already a side issue too, so I don't know his motivation to play this year.
Yeah. Here's one thing that's a little annoying, or maybe not a little bit annoying, but like the Yankees are like going to be terrible. So how much does that influence, like how you feel? Like, so Jason Dominguez, I think after all my current slows finish, is going to be my most drafted outfielder, which I feel good. And I'm going to take Judge here real quick. So I feel really good about that because the Stanton double elbow injury means, like, how bad would he have to be at left field to not play? Like, he'd have to be like record setting bad, but it also kind of numbs out his runs and RBIs based on what they could be if like they were prepping to be a really good team.
Yeah, and they're also starting, right now in spring they got Austin Wells leading off, which is not what you want.
Jesus.
You want Dominguez to push into that leadoff spot, because he's just got speed and power. I think he's there. Like, yeah, I got him. He's number 2 right behind Yelich for me. And he's tied for second. I got Yelich at 35%. This is over all regular season contests.
That is crazy to me. Not that I think Yelich is a bad pick, but he's not a guy that I would think of as like most drafted player because he's not like that cheap, and he's not gonna like. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Yelich has like a 1,500 point season in his range. Maybe he does.
This is just personal bias.
Okay, fair. I personally biased. Vinny P is my most drafted infielder, and he also does not have any league winning seasons in his range, but I just love him. He's just one of my favorite players.
But then behind him, I have Dominguez at 29%, and also at 29% is Jung-Hoo Lee, who I'm pinching my nose and closing my eyes and hoping that he puts it together. I just think people are, I don't know. He's Stephen Kwan, but later, basically.
Stephen Kwan, but later is a guy you'd really like to have. The guy you don't want to have is Stephen Kwan as priced.
Right.
That's not that fun. One of the big things I have started doing though is I am a big strategy thing is I'm more comfortable with multiple stud infielders early. So I think a pretty good example of this is like you start getting into this range of Santander, Teoscar, James Wood, Ian Happ. I'm like pretty comfortable being like, oh, I'm just going to take Trey Turner. Like I have the easy sheet rankings in, and I'm not even saying easy's wrong or whatever, but like taking Brian Reynolds over Trey Turner does just feel bad. Just, it's like, it's Brian Reynolds, Trey Turner could absolutely be the guy you had to have in the finals. Like no doubt about it. For sure.
Yeah. So I just went with my fun turn pick combo here.
Yeah.
The smart. I think the smart is Schwarber Guerrero, but I'm just continuing the bias. I've been trying to get more Jackson Chourio just to enjoy myself.
And the uncomfortable, you take Schwarber, and it's an uncomfortable thing where you're then way more likely to take Castellanos because you're like, oh, I gotta set up the stack, you know, and it's like no one really wants to do that. All right, we got a question. What is your take on Tyler Fitzgerald? He's the Giants pitcher, right?
Second baseman, should be their starting second baseman.
All right, there we go. Close, Davis.
You had the right team. I think he has a huge range of outcomes this year. He has a huge K rate, and he showed some power. I think he's a 15-team roto guy. I maybe have 1 or 2 shares of him here. But like if you're building a giant stack, I don't see why you can't put him on there. Yeah, because he's got Last year, he ran a 31% K rate. So it's if he sticks in that second spot, I think.
What's his isolated slugging projection?
Bat X has him
Bad.
at 155.
That's not that bad.
But Bat X has his WRC plus at 88. So,
man, for this contest with 4 of 12 advance, oh yeah, I was like, this is a sick contest to take Ronald Acuna Jr.
I'm on the record because last year there was $100. The $50 was $100, and it was for advance. And like, I thought I was building smart for that contest, and I still, advanced worse than just anything else. So
yeah. I mean, it's fun, and I can maybe if I want to be cute, I can try and take a 7th outfielder on this one. Would you take my highest ranked outfielder, or would you double up with Azuna when you have Acuna? What do you think I should do?
Who's the other? Oh, Harper.
Harper. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably go Harper here, or Devers. I'd go Devers maybe.
I like Harper. I like Harper a lot better than Devers. There we go. First infielder.
Fair enough.
Nick says he's been waiting in this room for 5 days.
Yeah, Nick has. I think he's finished his frozen rope and his dingers. So this might be his only guy left, or his only shot left.
That is brutal. Yeah, and I think that should be a lesson to those of you who didn't want to draft it. I think that should be a lesson to you about room quality, because Nick says that this lobby has been sitting here literally since Monday. So you know, Mr. Woo Woo J Train, you just might not be able to get in. You might not get your solo shot in. So never look a gift horse in the mouth. The double elite pitcher start here from Packer Brown. He goes Bobby Witt Jr., Skeens, Skubal.
He better turn off that pitcher button for a long time.
He better have late outfielders that he thinks are the smashes. You know, like he better have conviction of like you. I don't even think this is I don't think it's a horrible strategy in a vacuum, mostly because it will be so underrepresented in advancing rounds. No one is drafting teams like this. No, like literally, I've done like about 75 of these drafts. I don't think I've seen anyone do those two guys together. And frankly, I don't even think I've seen anyone wait until like round 6 to take their first outfielder or whatever. Like it just does not happen. So structurally, it's okay. What are you thinking with these turn picks here?
All right, so Riley was falling. I was going to love that fall on Riley, but Paul took him there, inverted. I'm going to do. There's a ton of options here. I love so many players here.
You are on a good side of the board. Yeah, there are a lot of sides.
Like I can go almost any direction here. I think I'm going to do something that I'm going to pop somebody up. Just looking ahead here.
Flip the board.
I'm going to do a combo, a Chicago Cubs combo here with Suzuki. Suzuki is a guy I just have not gotten to enough. And I like a lot of along with the Brewers, the Cubs have a lot of infielders that you can tack on at any point in the draft. Uh-oh.
There we go. Paul's drafting off your ranks, brother.
Those haven't been updated for a while, Paul. Apologies ahead of time.
Well, I mean, I guess you update for injury stuff, but like, I mean, and there's like late round playing time stuff like Christian Encarnacion or whatever, but like baseball rankings kind of are what they are. And there's your own, and your stacks are going to matter so much anyway, too.
Yeah, I don't even know that they've updated for injuries. I have not kept up with the ranks. So
What's your take on the Cubs? Because their infield is so rotational. You know, they've got Birdie, they've got Bush, they've got Nico Horner, who's injured right now, Bruhan, who's a switch hitter and can play in the outfield. They've got right now, Roster Resource has a non-roster invitee, Matt Shaw, projected as the starting third baseman. So like they're a weird team, super platoony.
I guess I don't see that because I think John Birdie has a couple of games in him before he's injured again.
Fair.
Fidel Brujan is terrible hitter. So I'm banking on the youth. I don't get too much Bush and Shaw. I'm just
I take Bush a little bit late.
Yeah, I'm a huge Dansby Swanson guy. He was absolute shit.
I don't think I've ever heard that sentence before.
That's fair enough. But you needed him in the playoffs last year. So
honestly, I watch a lot of baseball and I follow baseball, but I had the same gut response when I started drafting dingers. Like a first round pick who I like straight up, I just like don't even really have an opinion on Jackson. Well, I mean, he was a rookie last year, so it's not like he's got this big long track record. I'm just gonna snap off Michael. Actually, I'm having fun, and I want O'Neal Cruz. I want O'Neal Cruz more. And if I get sniped on O'Neal Cruz, I'd be more mad than if I get sniped on Michael Harris.
Okay, that's fair. That's a good value on Harris. Yeah, there he goes.
It is what it is. I knew that was possible coming in, but I would be more annoyed. And you know what? I'm living little. I started with Judge.
Yeah.
So theoretically, I should be fine at outfield, and we're living a little.
Oh,
I'm taking
no. I thought you were going Jazz. I'm Jazz there with Judge.
There we go. I'm gonna take Jazz. It was between those two guys. Jazz is probably my favorite value, like mid. Well, Cruz actually and Jazz are like my favorite infield picks. I almost just took Cole Reagans for the Royals thing, but yeah, this guy doing three pitchers, he took Wheeler, so he's. Yeah. Wouldn't be doing that. But yeah, you like Jazz too?
Yeah. I just think he has like health pending. He's got like second round value potential.
Couldn't he be a first round value? I mean,
yeah, for sure.
He scored. I looked this up yesterday. He scored like an insane. Yeah, he scored 1,300 points last year in like a very weird year for him.
Yeah, and like he just started running wild. Like he just felt he's a guy that needed to feel confident. And the Marlins,
and he got his K rate down to 24%, and he's 27. Like he's entering his prime. This is exactly what I think. Is exactly what I think. I think he is discounted Ellie De La Cruz in a similarly good ballpark too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to go back in time to your question, what I think of the Cubs, the latest Stacking Dingers episode was me and Billy and Nez going through the NL Central. So go check that out. We all picked Cubs to win the division though. So I think we're buying that.
Yeah.
Even against my heart.
That seems crazy. Mark, shout out to you. Baseball at lunch. Hope you're having a good day. Nolan, that is not as dumb as what I did. Smashing your shin on the bar is not as dumb as dropping a plate on your foot, which I did yesterday. Not near as dumb. Dropping a plate on your foot is very stupid.
That is a baseball spring training injury waiting to happen.
I was gonna say dropping a weight on your foot, like that's like a 60-day IL stint for a pitcher. Dude, what, Anthony, man? Something is going on in the Underdog Fantasy community that we've had 3 gym incidences. But yeah, Jazz, like I would say probably my three favorite picks of the whole everything are O'Neal Cruz, Jazz Chisholm Jr., and a very unpopular one, but Jock Peterson, which I'm like the only person who still believes that.
Oh no, I'm in on that.
Okay,
all right,
there we go.
This is shaping up perfectly here. We get Yelich and Contreras to go to Churio. And now I don't feel like I need any correlation the rest of the way if I don't want it, if it doesn't fall right.
Yeah, where do you land on total team stacking? Like I think like 3 is the good one to aim for, 4 if it's like a value you really like. But I would aim for like 3. Like I'd like to get another Yankee. Probably honestly not really looking at taking another Pirate. Yeah, this is a good question. What is the latest you're willing to start taking pitchers?
I mean, I think you can wait till 120 and be fine.
Would you take 8 on if you waited that late? Would you take 8?
I think. I mean, 7 for sure. Probably 8.
Yeah.
But even then, that's probably like 60-40 to be honest.
So like, it's a fallacy that best ball drafters do in football where they're like, oh, I didn't take a ton of wide receivers early, so I'm going to take 10. Very hard in football to make up those numbers just because just being available in football doesn't mean anything. Like Tutu Atwell can play every single game for the Rams and score, like have no meaningful points for you. But like if let's just pull a name out of a hat here. Let's scroll all the way to the bottom. I mean, if Nick Martinez pitches 32 games this year, it doesn't matter if he is the most turbo ass pitcher in baseball. It does not matter if he's terrible. He will be a super valuable underdog baseball asset.
I mean, he'll be a somewhat valuable. I think you're exaggerating a little bit there, but yeah, for sure. Like, and I'm talking like I just scrolled down and like let's say you I don't know whether you believe Kevin Gausman is bouncing back or whatever, but
I do.
You start Bryce Miller, Sonny Gray, like, and then then you get let's say a Kikuchi and Arrighetti, like you got 4 guys that they hit all their starts this season. They're contributing every week.
And in fantasy baseball, you are one of these young guys. Doesn't matter who your pick is. I don't know. Maybe you're a Lodolo guy. Maybe you're a Jackson Joby guy. I'm on the clock here. Oh, money in the bank. Jason Dominguez. I mean, now I am cooking. I'm cooking with gas here, dude. Judge, Acuna, Dominguez. I think I just got the top 3 fantasy outfielders all on this team. No Gilcast main event for us this year. Sammy and Nate are dads, and I don't want to help with waivers. So we will probably do one for NFL, I think. I want to take Nola here. I think Ward is definitely last of a tier. What do you think?
I think you're good at outfield. Take your pitcher that you want.
Yeah, I think I was mentioning this yesterday when I was streaming, and frankly, I probably was making it up. But my thinking is if you start out with Ohtani, Judge, or Soto, your weekly requirements for your other outfielder are much lower because like you're just sort of locked in to one of your outfield scores every week. Like you'd be running bad in a given scoring period to not be using Judge, Ohtani, or Soto's score, basically.
Yeah, you're basically hitting they got injured and your team's dead anyway.
That's true. Yeah, if Aaron Judge hurts his knee, this team was not advancing anyway, so there's no point in trying to cover that up. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you look at the board and like maybe not so much like my start with Jackson Trio, but like a Jose Ramirez, Kyle Schwarber start compared to a Soto, Jackson Merrill, just an example. Like,
Yeah.
you're just behind already at projected points.
Yeah, no, you really, I mean, you like actually like quantifiably, which I love about baseball, because you can say things like that. And in football, you're just like kind of guessing, but like in baseball, you actually can quantify, like, I am behind in this many points. Because the projections are just better, you know.
Yeah,
It's a fun
just
game.
plays out over a longer period of time.
This room is very interesting because everyone is now playing chicken with like all the pitchers are going after ADP. Although I think this team might be auto drafting potentially.
Which
they
one's
might be
that?
CP Dog. If you're not, I apologize, and you're watching, but I think it might be an auto drafting team.
It could be. All right, let's see if I get my guy here, who I mentioned earlier.
A lot of good. I mean, still a lot of good picks on the board right here. Who we got? Are you looking for you looking for a starting pitcher here?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab two. All right. Okay, Quan goes. Yeah, I'm gonna grab Strider here, who I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that's so strong.
And then, I mean, it's kind of a toss up here for Pablo Lopez and Framber Valdez for me. So let's go Pablo.
See, that's funny. I probably would have went with Yamamoto there in the 4-12 advance. Just be like, Yamamoto can be, maybe he won't get the raw innings, but he could be a Cy Young, like per inning per start caliber guy, right?
He could for sure. I don't know. Yeah, I was just looking for that safety. You could have gone Strider DeGrom there too. That would have been.
I was gonna say DeGrom. I am starting to feel similarly good about to Strider, just being like, well, they were really discounted by, and I guess Strider, the struggles have been longer. This would be a good question. You ask someone off the street, when's the last time DeGrom made it through a season? What do you think their answer is?
They'll say, who's Jacob DeGrom, or who's DeGrom?
Okay. Yeah, they'll say who's DeGrom. I mean, I'm even a little bit surprised by this, that his last like full uninterrupted season was, I guess the COVID season technically, right? Yeah. I guess he got through the COVID season, but 2019 was the last time that he got through. So maybe I should check myself. But also, when you're 37, what are you leaving it in the tank for? If you're healthy, you could pitch. Also, that makes me feel old that Jacob DeGrom is 37, because I like very much remember Jacob DeGrom's Major League Baseball debut. I remember watching it. I remember being there. I mean, Steven Strasburg's retired. I remember watching that debut. That doesn't make me feel great either. Yeah. What do you correlate team pitchers? What do you think about that? Like, you have like two Rangers pitchers, two Yankees pitchers, whatever.
That's a little more try hard than I get. I'll do it like with Seattle pitchers just because I like all of them together. Yeah. Like, it just happens naturally. Like, there's some talk about people that it's not been quantified. I think Easy maybe did try to quantify a little bit.
Easy mentioned this to me, and I totally buy it, that it increases your odds relatively significantly of getting 2 start weeks.
Right, in the playoffs. But yeah. I don't remember his number. Maybe he's out there. He can chime in again on the number.
I think he's at the gym right now. So I'm gonna do I'm bypassing outfielder again, and I am gonna do Adley Rutschman with Hunter Brown. If I can, how many plate appearances do you think I can get for Rutschman? You think I can get 550 out of him, or is that too much for a catcher?
I don't know. What did he do last year? Even while he was
638 last year. But it's like every year a catcher gets a little bit older, you obviously run the risk of them playing less. I think they DH him some. Did I make that up? I might be making that up. I can.
maybe,
I
but
can look that
they
up.
have such a glut of guys
I was going to say they have
already.
1 billion DHs. Yeah.
And the way that, like, if I'm managing Rushman this year, I'm backing off just because he had such a down year last year. If he's continuing to be, a little bit light on the offensive stuff, like,
Yeah,
just give him a break, because like that team ran out of gas in the playoffs last year.
that's true.
Down the season.
I do not know who this is. Are you last rounding Craig Yoho at all? First, I learned a name.
Craig Yoho, not on Underdog, that's for sure. He is one of a few names that I think is ascendant in coming up into filling this like all-star closer role that the Brewers tend to churn out. The Hader, the Williams.
Sure.
But I'm actually Jacob Mizorowski to closer guy. So we'll throw another name that you don't know out there.
Closers. I haven't done. I got nothing. I got like actually nothing on closers. Well, actually, I just was looking at the default projections in the app the other day, and some closer was really high.
Probably
there was some relief pit. Maybe it might have been Emmanuel Clase, but there was someone who I was just looking at their default projections, and I was like, why is there? I don't remember who it was, but pitchers are starting to come off the board now. I did Hunter Brown and Rutschman there. Hunter Brown, just like I wanted to take Roki Sasaki, but I'm fine to take Hunter Brown. I don't know. Do you go? This was it. It was Mason Miller. The crazy Oakland A's guy. So you go Jake Berger, Paul Goldschmidt. I think those are pretty good picks.
I'm just filling in infield points here.
Yeah, I mean, what is the downside with Goldschmidt? Does Berger have a little bit of playing time risk, or am I making that up?
No, I think he should be fine.
It's Evan Carter who's got a little bit of risk.
Yeah, I think Berger just is gonna hit home runs, and yeah.
Shouldn't Josh Jung be drafted more often than he is, or is he just bad?
I don't think we know. I think last year we can easily tell a story that it was the hand and wrist stuff, or the wrist stuff, that like ruined his production. So he could be a smash. He's had a ton of pedigree, and like he's definitely a post-hype sort of guy.
This would not matter at all for fantasy baseball, right? Divisional stacks. There would be no reason why that would. Am I missing something?
I think the micro edge is that okay. So like this is micro edge. You're in a good division where both teams are scoring against each other a lot, and then getting to bullpens and hitting bad pitchers. But I think if you're going to do anything with divisions, you want to look at getting pitchers outside of your main stack division.
If a division has 0 pitchers, sure. The piss boy equivalent in this is if you just started with like 6 outfielders in a row, just like your first 6 picks were all outfielders. I think would be the equivalent. All right. Probably need an outfielder. I don't love any of these outfielders, so maybe I'll just keep punting. Am I missing someone? I guess you really like this Jung-Ho Lee fella.
Yeah.
It's a good fit for the team, Jung-Ho Lee. Sure, whatever. I'll take Jung-Ho. Whatever. He's a get me. That's I was just fouling a pitch off right there. That's what was happening. This dude just snapped both of the pitchers I wanted, so that is very annoying. Shout out to him though. He must be playing good. I'm a Gausman slappy. I can't help myself. He was terrible last year. Got 953 points. I will continue slapping it up. Very symmetrical build here. Nola, Hunter Brown, Gausman. Yeah, Jung Ho Lee, whatever. I probably couldn't afford to wait another 25 picks for an outfielder.
Yeah, unless you're gonna lean into like Cardinals guys. That's kind of your
and I'm not.
Yeah, I think Gausman. This is maybe a weird thing to say, but Gausman is a better middle of the board guy because you can push him around. I like he's not a guy I'm moving up. I mean, you didn't move him up that much, but he's a guy that has a downward arrow. So he's a guy that does fall sometimes, and that's just when I want to grab him the most.
He's just really I use the easy sheet stuff, and he's just really high in easy stuff. So I'm just see Turbotron. The deal with me is I actually don't know enough about baseball to be a super slappy. That's the thing. So like taking like Kumar Rocker and Bubba Chandler and Jackson Joby all together, like it's impressive that I know all three of those names, but like I'd be very hard pressed to name a fourth. I think
you're even mispronouncing one of them. So
which one?
It's just Jackson Job. It's not Joby.
It really should be Joby.
Oh, okay. Let's tell him that.
Job is a terrible name. I mean, that's awful. Job. That has now changed how I feel about him as a pitching prospect, knowing that it's Job and not Joby.
Yeah.
Also, I said that wrong on the video yesterday about 20 times, and no one corrected me. So that's on them. Would it make taking pitchers early less risky than people are making it seem? Well, the issue, Austin, is pitchers get injured. Like at what, like 3x the rate of like a running back? Like pitchers just get injured all the time.
And also, early pitchers just don't separate.
Yeah.
Just because of how the scoring works. Like running backs are scoring can separate from further in the field. I mean, we saw it last year with the Olds.
Well, they can separate, but what it requires them to play twice in a week, basically.
Right,
which is unknowable, basically. All right,
There's
Sonny Gray and Justin Steele. That is that's a good turn.
A lot of pitchers here I like, so I'm going to grab two of them. Yeah, and like this is how I'm missing Robbie Ray because like I might not get him here on this next pick. I did think about Vinny P there, but I think I have infielders I like more than like Brown.
The answer to how many of these top pitching prospect guys I can identify by their face is 0. Straight up, no shot. Kumar Rocker could walk by me on the street and no clue, none. Don't even have a guess.
I mean,
yeah.
We only see them in baseball hats and baseball uniforms. Like, true. I think a lot of baseball players you could just walk by on the street. It's not like they're a football player and they're towering over you and huge guys. Like, not all of them. I mean, but there's some huge baseball players. But I think just in general, I know that's.
I mean, Royals guys I know I've seen around Kansas City. They just like go to the bar, like they're and they'll get recognized. Like people will know. Some people will know who they are, but it's not like they can't go anywhere type thing. Because a lot of them just look like, dude, I mean, they're fat baseball players, they're just out there. So I'm going to have to take an outfielder here. I don't think I can kick the can down the road again. And I'm pretty locked in on Mr. Jock Peterson. It would be fine to take Nolan Jones here. I've not looked at the schedule yet. Do you know who the Rockies play in the final?
I will admit to again that
Not
edge.
knowing.
I don't go for playoff schedule because I'll tell you what. There's so much that can happen in a baseball season.
Oh, sure.
That like, who knows? Like,
well, what's going to be really funny is when everyone realizes that the Sacramento Athletics Stadium is a PCL stadium, and the totals in a regular season game there end up being 11.5 anyway, and that's actually you're actually just going to have had athletics this year in fantasy baseball. All right, so I took Jock. I mean, look, if I'm going to do a $75 single entry, I'm going to get Jock, and this man, Dab K. I mean, you are killing me, dude. You don't even like Robbie Ray. You're just doing it out of spite. Do you think I need the ceiling guy or the floor guy here?
I think you have a ton of floor.
All right, I'm gonna do Mackenzie Gore then.
Yeah.
If I needed a floor guy, I would have taken Lugo. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Mackenzie Gore was better there.
Last year was the year to draft Seth Lugo on Underdog.
Yeah, he had Bush Johnson, who is in the Discord and has like some projection things. I think he said Lugo had like 3 of the 25 highest scoring weeks or something like that, like all in and of himself, just because he would pitch like 8 innings a bunch.
Yeah.
The Giants play Coors in the final at some point. Do you know this? How many points did you have to have to advance in the top 3 last year? Do you know the line?
I don't know those numbers.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to change year to year anyways.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, basically you can the idea that you can kind of just get whoever in the playoffs. I mean, I think that's probably true. Like, I think it's basically you get the guys you need to get to the playoffs will be very important. Like if some round 13 outfielder returns second round value, like good luck advancing without that guy. But baseball is such a weird small sample sport. Like the playoffs are just anyone's game, basically.
Right. Exactly. And like at that point of the year, it might be there's a random rain delay that gets moved to the final playoff week that pushes a team over the edge. Like there's just so much stuff that can happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say trying to control for any of those specific things is probably misguided. Like it just you'd be better off whatever time you spend thinking about that, spend time like reading playing time projections or something for Pittsburgh Pirates outfielders. Kareem Hunt back with the Chiefs. Not on topic, but that is a bit of a bummer. I mean, there's not necessarily a dome edge for offenses in baseball, but there is like parks. I mean, there's huge park size stuff. That is my operational philosophy with the Athletics. I think that park is going to be an absolute bandbox.
Yeah, Turbotron saying to Tampa too.
Yes,
I'm pretty off of the Tampa pitchers.
Well, yeah, they're you're gonna get 80 innings somehow. Christopher Sanchez, Clay Holmes. Sell me on Clay Holmes. I know nothing about this man.
Couple of things. So he was the closer for the Yankees last year.
Yes, I did know that.
Right. Lost the job to Luke Weaver, who has pitched only one
Luke Weaver, the shitty Arizona Diamondbacks starter.
Yes. Okay. But he was good. He was good as a reliever last year.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just a random note if you're trying to spec on saves. Luke Weaver has not pitched much in spring. I don't know if there's some injury there. But anyway, so he just has a starter's arsenal, and he's added more pitches since then. And I think the bet you're making on Clay Holmes is that he is Seth Lugo and not Jordan Hicks. Like he can hold up. And the way the arrow on the Mets starters are going is like, I don't think they're going to be able to baby him. Like they're dropping like flies there.
What did happen to Jordan Hicks? He made it through more starts than I thought. Is he currently injured?
No, he should be in that rotation again.
He just wasn't. I guess he just wasn't good as a starter. Got to 110 innings.
He was good for I don't know the number. He was good for 4 games and he just lost it. So there's some chance he is a year removed from having that large workload. Just maybe he's going to be ready this year. But if you want to take a super deep shot.
All right, I've got 4 pitchers, 4 infielders, 5 outfielders. Frankly, I can probably just keep pushing it. I can just wait till like my 20th round pick for an outfielder. I've got 2 Yankees. I don't think there's anyone really stacking that I want right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take. You know what? I'm gonna take. Is there Rhys Hoskins playing time stuff I don't know about?
Not right away. Because
I don't like that. So I'm gonna take Jeremy Pena, who is just boring, but I think a good pick.
So right now, Rhys Hoskins has the benefit of Yelich needing to DH, which sounds weird, but just how the roster is constructed, they can't like the guy that would be pushing him is Jake Bauers, who's on a minor league deal. Yeah. And I don't think he's going to make the team till Yelich can play
not worried about
in the outfield.
I'm not worried about Jake Bauers.
And I thought Hoskins was a fine pick there. I think I talked about it last night or on the episode that went out today is basically Hoskins, had the ACL year and then he played his first full season for the Brewers last year and the underlying stuff was bad. Like, I mean, he's always been a strikeout guy that didn't really like fall off a cliff, but the power numbers were bad. The EV average and max EV were bad. So basically you're flipping a coin. Like, was that age or was that just coming off an ACL? And this year, I think I'm betting on him one more year, I guess is where I'm at.
I mean, and I prefer power guys over a little bit of this, a little bit of that guys anyway. And then I did Pfaadt just so people do know that I know ball, because Pfaadt is what was his actual ERA? His ERA was not as bad as I guess I thought it was last season, but he's one of those guys that has like he's really high in stuff plus and all the fancy stuff. He throws it real good, even if hitters can pick it right up.
Yeah, and I think he's still got to break out, and he's young but has been a workhorse already. So
yeah, 181 innings, 32 starts last year.
Yeah, and right now you look at roster resources, they have him behind a few guys like Merrill Kelly and Eduardo Rodriguez, but I mean even
Eduardo Rodriguez, let's just enough of this already. Like, okay. Even
having him behind Zach Gallen, who's not been the picture of consistent health lately, that like I think he has 30 starts in him again this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I will take my 30 starts. MBF says I made a good pick. He says Pfaadt is awesome for this format. And I even show that I extra know ball by knowing how to say his name. Your average cross sport streamer would pronounce the P in his name, and I know enough to get past it. I almost took Salvador Perez, actually.
Yeah, that's just
for the vibes.
Kind of a fun pick. I hate these outfielders here.
No, it's so bad.
I might just grab my last pitcher here for 7. Let me look at who I've got. I got a bit of injury risk, but let's throw Walker Buehler on here.
Yeah, I like that.
A guy who I've always been way down on, but that's because I just thought he had like such a high Dodgers tax.
People have definitely bet Walker Buehler to win Cy Young at like bad odds before, and he goes undrafted in this. Like not undrafted, but I guess not. Round 16 for Walker Buehler. I guess going NL to AL is not great. Although I guess that's so different now. Maybe I just said like a 15-year-old baseball opinion.
No, the problem is going to Boston.
Going to Boston.
That's not a great pitching park.
No, and a terrible pitching division. Every team is good now.
Yeah.
Like literally every you're with nothing but good hitting teams. All right, so I've got a perfectly symmetrical 5-5-5. I need one more outfielder. The thing is these outfielders are just like, just put them in any order you want. What is Victor Robles' current playing time projection?
He's projected to lead off all year. Okay, he might not.
Explain to me how this dude came back from the dead last year. What on earth happened to this guy?
I don't know. Change of scenery? I really can't explain it. Like
it's one of the most shocking. This is a guy who was batting 9th for the worst team in baseball, and then is just like smashing for a good team. A fine team.
Yeah. They have their offensive home park struggles, but you're hoping for. The Bat X has him for 11 home runs and 31 stolen bases at this point. Like, why not?
No, you need 45 steals. I think for him to really matter, you need a lot of steals, right? He's not going to hit 40. He's not going to hit 11 home runs. I think.
I don't know. Yeah, I get being skeptical. Yeah, I think you're either. Yeah, he's burned everybody at least once in their fantasy baseball career. So why not join? Have your year this year if you haven't already.
All right, I'm doing vibes picks now. I took Shea Langeliers as my outfielder 6. And golly, I couldn't even take Job. You think I take a ceiling guy or a floor guy here
for pitcher?
Yeah.
I'd go ceiling now with what you have.
There you go. Never say I don't know ball.
Yeah,
Bubba Chandler, baby.
Okay, so what is the most recent news that if we're going to test you on your ball knowledge, what's the most recent news that bumped him up a little bit lately?
Someone posted in the Badge Bros baseball thread that he's projected in the opening day rotation.
Yeah,
or opening just the 25-man roster or whatever.
Bailey Falter is not going to start in the rotation. He's already injured, so.
Now, I know the rules are different about like rookies and service time and Super 2 and everything, but is it like one of those things where like if Bailey Falter feels better in 3 weeks, is he going back down and getting one of his options used, or what is going to happen there, you think?
I would just never worry about Bailey Falter.
Yeah.
I
had to make one slappy pick.
If you're taking Bubba Chandler, you're saying he comes up and he's good, right?
How old is this guy? Is he like a 24-year-old prospect, or did I just take like a literal teenager?
No, he's
22. He's 22. He's 22. Okay. You know what? Frankly, that is not even really that slappy. He got 4 starts in AAA last year. 119 innings in the minors in general. I think there's been worse picks than that. And every Pirates pitcher ends up being good. They teach them that sinker and they get to play in that park, and they just all end up being good. They're just always fine.
Just don't look at what he's actually projected to do in the majors.
Oh, I don't get. I've learned projection systems for Major League Baseball are really good when they have a lot of data that the guy has already done. Frankly, it's like basically useless, I think, looking at like zips for a rookie, you know. What is the Bat X know about a 22-year-old? The 22-year-old himself doesn't even know. And you're telling me Derek Carty knows? Wow.
All right.
Joe Adele.
I got my two guys here. Some two post type guys. I mean, post type. I don't know how many posts you need to add.
How many posts do you need for Joe Adele? I mean, he had 20 home runs last year, and he stole 15 bases.
He was on pace for 2020 if he didn't get hurt last year. I think upside case, he is the starting center fielder all year for the Angels.
I was going to say, upside case is he is like the other two Angels outfielders are top 50 outfielders. Ward and Adele.
Yeah.
I mean, why can he just not match them in scoring?
Yeah. He we talk about age. He's only 25. Like, he's just been in our consciousness for so long that you think he's older.
Yes. Yeah. No, I do think he's 32 years old, but he isn't. All right. I need one more outfielder. What is Heston Kjerstad's current playing time situation? Who does this guy need to dust to get 500 plate appearances?
Quite a few guys.
Quite a few. Too many guys. Too many guys.
I like the pick though. Still,
Kjerstad to get 500 plate appearances, he would at minimum have to dust Tyler O'Neill, probably, right? Or he would have to get some DHs over Ryan O'Hearn or first base over O'Hearn. He'd have to play more than him.
I mean, part of the problem is that they brought in O'Neill and Ramon Laureano. Like,
yeah,
I mean, not a 1-to-1, but just like, it's just annoying. Baltimore's just annoying.
Yeah, they are
for fantasy.
Kepler's a clear fourth outfielder. You know what? I'm going to live a little. I am going to take Kjerstad.
There you go.
Well, or should I just, with this room, should I actually just take a really boring guy? Oh, Vaughn is infield. I guess I should have known that. You know what? I'm just going to do it. You only live once. And, improbable things happen all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
All right.
I'm just looking, he's Bat X has him at 377, 12 home runs. So like, yeah.
Are you a Clark Schmidt guy or a Luis Severino guy?
Neither. I'm Clark Schmidt out of those two.
Yeah. I guess I could have taken Merrill Kelly there too, but
no, that's still Clark Schmidt for me, if that's your name. Not just home slappy related, but I think Nestor Cortez could be an awesome later round pick.
He is. Yeah, he is. I mean, he's like, I would say he's very likely to be a fine pick.
Right. I mean, that it's injury related there.
Yeah. All right. I have 7 pitchers, 6 infielders, 6 outfielders. Would you take an 8th pitcher with Nola, Hunter Brown, Gausman, Gore, Pfaadt, Chandler, Schmidt, or another infielder?
Infielder.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you made your Bubba Chandler bet, and like,
I could take Langeliers and Soderstrom.
There you go.
That way, if you take them both, you can never lose. I'm actually not gonna do another one. I was thinking about it, but it's I'll tell you what I'll do. I will do next week, Mr. Napka. That's a great YouTube name. I will do 2 dinger streams next week. Hold me to it. The contest will be Russian affiliate. It'll be when is the Japanese series start? What is opening day? March 28th?
Yeah, sometime.
Yeah. So we got some time, but I will do maybe I will just try and finish the dinger, you know? Why not? Gotta live a little. Yeah, the final round is there's a name I don't know. I do not know who Luis L. Ortiz is. I learned a name.
So you're not totally up on your Pittsburgh prospects. If you had Nez, he could tell you a lot more. He just got traded as part of some weird 3-way thing. I think it's a terrible pick, but you're taking a bet on Cleveland pitching development there. He's just not been good. So it's pretty as simple as that.
All right, how are you finishing your team?
All right, let's see. I think I'm going to go with I think I'm just going to go with a boring Michael Bush infielder here to fit my Cubs guys.
You going to go with another pitcher or another infielder? I think you could argue for either one.
I think I might go outfielder here.
It's never too late to take an anonymous St. Louis Cardinals outfielder.
No, we're going to go with Trevor Larnach.
Trevor Larnach.
Oh no!
Well, you got both of them. You got both Cubs infielders.
Okay, I got cued there. I have my limits. Must have my limits set to 6.
All right. How do you feel about the team? I like it. I think that is. I think it's a strong team.
Yeah, I like it. Pitching risk, Strider coming back and Sonny Gray going down. But I think and Walker Buehler is not guaranteed to be good. I like my Cubs Brewers stack. I think this is I don't know, MVP Vlad year. I'm just taking as much Vlad as I can. I think he does it. I think he's annoyed at his team, and I think he wants the payday. I think he throws in 10 steals. That's my hot take. I think he just gets some steals this year. Walk year steals are a thing. Guys just try to increase their value. And the risk is the team around him, but I think this infield is just a bunch of beef potential. I don't love the matchup at the end. And the outfield is probably pretty thin. It's really betting on a Jackson Trio next step.
Yeah. That's pretty big. Which it's fine. It's a fine bet.
Yeah.
To make. Wow, a Max Mayer appearance in the Wild. Don't think I've seen his name yet. All right, I'm gonna take another infielder. I actually literally am just gonna take Soderstrom, I think.
Yeah.
Soderstrom or Gavin Lux?
Soderstrom for me.
Yeah, you can't lose with Soderstrom and Langeliers. You're locked into 47 combined home runs, and we'll be getting 2,400 points out of those guys when A's go nuts.
If you do end up doing an FBC draft, if you're in a 2-catcher league, Soderstrom is supposed to be the backup catcher, so you might get catcher eligibility at some point this year.
That's just the platonic ideal. That's what so Langeliers is going to catch. Soderstrom's the backup, but Langeliers will DH too, right? And play first base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just mean he's a great hitter if you can get him in your catcher slot over on a 2-catcher league.
100%. All right. Nola, Hunter Brown, Gausman, Mackenzie Gore, Brandon Pfaadt, Bubba Chandler, Clark Schmidt went a little bit slappy there, but I unbound. I think when you take Aaron Nola and Kevin Gausman, you've proven you're not a slappy. Although Kevin Gausman was a slappy pick about 8 years ago. He was the man. Bryce Harper, Cruz, Jazz, Adley Rutschman, Jeremy Pena, Langeliers, and Soderstrom. That's fine. And Bryce Harper's pretty old to be your number one infielder. Judge, Acuna. Maybe Acuna's a bad pick. Dominguez I feel good about. Jung-Ho Lee's whatever. Jock I love. Kirkstad could maybe be terrible. But
yeah, the Acuna plus him is a little bit scary.
Is a little shaky. Yeah. All right, man. There we go. Tell the people what you guys have on the sheep seats. I mess that up every time. That's why I don't say it. And stacking dingers if they're really trying to get there for the rest of the Major League Baseball season. Yeah,
stacking dingers. I'm gonna point you over there. There's a couple more sheep seat streams before the start of the season, but you just go back, check out some of the early season strategy talk. The first episode of this season was like looking over the last 3 seasons of data, how people are building and all that. Check out the stacking episode. And then if you want, like player takes, there's a series on like all the players that are potentially all position by position, every player that is like even reasonable for this format is talked about in some form. But yeah, subscribe there. I don't know what in-season stuff we're going to do, but we'll be back strong too next year.
All right. There we go, folks. Check out Stacking Dingers. Check out the sheep seats. I will be back with all of you guys on Monday. I have a video coming out tomorrow, so make sure that you're checking that out. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. But most importantly, thank you very much for watching. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's